All right, so there's this article that literally broke me the other day, yesterday, about how friggin' deranged some people in the media can get most. It is another level. I mean, this person is all up Harley Quinn's ass. Like, Harley Quinn is the best thing that's ever, even though she's a villain, But because the Joker, as a villain, is disturbing, again, a core characteristic of the Joker, disturbing. Take disturbing out of the Joker, you don't have the Joker. Harley Quinn's always been bubbly. Just because she's bubbly and he's disturbing, we now have one is bad, and if you like and support one, you're probably a bad person in real life. And then the other is good, and if you like it and support it, well, you're probably a feminist or an ally, or you're probably a good person. Some of the shit they say is mind-numbingly stupid, but also dangerous when it comes to restricting the creativity in the entertainment industry. And again, they're taking direct shots at the Joker, but what they're really doing is hurting everyone else who is coming up wanting to do controversial or touchy subjects, touchy characters, unique characters, different, wild characters. Every screenwriting teacher will tell you your hero is only as good as your villain. But moving forward, if we let these psychos win, these lunatics in the media, we're not going to have really disturbing villains in the future. Because listening to how they speak about the Joker, they essentially want this gone. They want the Joker and villains like him to be rubbed out. Because apparently it's a call to action, and it's going to make people turn into violent psychopaths. Which, it's funny that's the first thing these lunatics think about. It reminds me of this old head on the block. I had a girlfriend that, no matter what I did, her first response was, you must be cheating. You're going to the store for milk, you're going to hang out with the boys, you're going to go play some basketball, shoot some hoops or something, you must be cheating. And this old head pulled me aside and he was like, listen, let me tell you something. Any chick that immediately goes to cheating has it on her mind because she's projecting. It's a mirror, baby. That's what she does. Sure enough, in my life, as I learned from, girlfriends, girls in the neighborhood, even guys for that matter, it works for both genders. Guys, girls, when they immediately go to cheating, that's what they do because it's on their mind. That's why they think of it. It's not something I think about. My girl's like, listen, I'm running to the store. I don't think, oh, she's going to cheat. I think she's running to the damn store. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, when it comes to this, they see this character and they're like, oh, it's disturbing. Well, if you like him, you must be disturbing. Oh, man, he wants to burn society down. Well, that's the message. That's the call to action. This is bad. This needs to be wiped out. Some of the other stupid shit, it seems like a contradiction. Like in the one part of the article, he says, Joker is anti-establishment. Yeah, right here, Joker is anti-establishment. But Birds of Prey is overthrowing the patriarchy. Yo, okay, listen, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't read any links of Birds of Prey, so I'm not sure. But if you have, just because a girl is tearing down a man, it's overthrowing the patriarchy. But if it's a guy who's just burning shit up, man, listen, that was just a little sentence I noticed that I'm going to keep that sentence in the back of my mind. And if I ever get around to watching Birds of Prey, we'll see how accurate that sentence is because something says that's not going to stick. But the most dangerous part is, and the part that broke me, is the very end. These last two paragraphs. This moron lunatic said, in Joker, society is inherently bad and needs to be destroyed. That's something I'm also going to keep in my head. So you're telling me in Joker, society is just straight bad and it needs to be destroyed. You said that in a very odd way. You're saying that as if you're trying to lead us to believe that that's the movie's message. I'm going to remember that because I really doubt that's the movie's message. In Birds of Prey, the failed society can be better. Where are you getting this from? In the trailer, I didn't get a hint of any of that. Maybe it's leaks. Hopefully it's leaks. but you need to embrace and celebrate yourself first before you can change anything. Wow, you're pulling so much from that ridiculous trailer that was all over the place of random slow-mo of girls kicking ass. That in many ways reflects modern political drama. Is the world too corrupt to save? Is society to blame for the violence we experience? Or is the problem internal? Well, here's why you're asking stupid, idiotic questions. Because you're using blanket questions that is supposed to touch base with each individual. It's all so different. Yes, large groups, it's going to be the same. You have certain crimes that can be categorized, but you're always going to have some stuff that you can't fit into simple, neat little questions like that. Is society to blame for the violence we experience? I'm sure no. I'm sure yes. I'm sure it's more complex than your blanket-ass question. Anyway, he goes on to shit out of his mouth. Each film, in a fascinating twist, is approaching the same core problem with starkly different perspectives on the same core issue. Wow, this guy is sounding like he's trying to be smart. He's a try-hard. Which one speaks more to you as a matter of perspective. But there is something revolutionary about how Birds of Prey seems to celebrate not fitting in society. There's something revolutionary about how Birds of Prey is celebrating not fitting into society. You know what? I grew up in the 80s. Well, I was born in the 80s. And you know what I remember a lot? I remember a lot of 60s movies and 60s themed movies and shows. And I remember a lot about classism and not fitting in. And there was a lot of movies with a lot of the messages. Grease is one that I don't really remember, but that might fall under that category of fitting in and celebrating not fitting in. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look into, refresh my memory. But I highly doubt Birds of Prey is revolutionary when it comes to celebrating not fitting into society. Do you know how many movies have been made? You guys feel free to leave a list down below of movies that celebrated not fitting into society. Because it depends on your wordplay, but I'm pretty sure The Outsiders celebrated heavily about not fitting into society. Anyway, and he continues, something frankly disturbing about how Joker claims the only solution to being ostracized is to burn everything down. Here is the biggest problem with this article and this train of thought. The Joker is a villain and a disturbing one. Harley Quinn has always been bubbly. If you take the bubbly out of Harley Quinn, a lot of fans are going to not recognize that character. They're going to be furious because it's one of those core characteristics of her character. Same thing with the Joker. You give me a Joker that's not disturbing. It's one of the core characteristics of the Joker. Robert Kirkman wrote The Walking Dead. The comic, he did a little bit for the TV show. He came up with characters named the Governor. The Governor would cut off your head if he thought you weren't going to agree with him. That simple. Or if you pissed him off, it doesn't matter, but he cut off your head and he would stick it in a fish tank and he would just watch it instead of like how regular people today watch TV. Are you saying that Robert Kirkman and the comic book are telling people, giving people this call to action to chop off people's heads if you don't agree with us and stick them in our fish tank? There's another group that when they got low on resources, they turned to cannibalism. Are you telling me that Kirkman said that's his message? What about the other group that were, let's cover a lot instead of going one at a time, but tyrants, you got rapists, you got murderers, thieves. Are these messages, are these calls to action for the people enjoying the material? No. It's simply one main rule. Villains do villain shit. They act like villains. And even if you try to flesh villains out, make it a little more realistic. Serial killers, even some of the most heinous ones, have had moments where they are just like normal people. They will fool you, and that's why you hear a lot of people say, holy shit, I was shocked. I was shocked when I found that out. They have holiday dinners. They have arguments. They have emotional moments and outbursts. They have lives and girlfriends and friends and coworkers and blah, 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 blah. Some of them fake it. Some of them do have these little moments where they're, in that life and have these mini emotions and they're still touched. You get certain villains that are fleshed out in that way where they might go through something that's bad. It doesn't mean this is all of us who are watching. If society shits on us, whether we're ugly or stupid or poor or what, it doesn't mean that movie itself is a call to action to buck back. Not at all. This type of mentality, again, it is dangerous to the future of, let's say it's dangerous to restricting the creativity of future producers, directors, writers, actors, you name it. Everyone coming up after this who's interested in making a character that is this twisted. Nope, think again. Because you don't want these headlines tearing you down at every turn. The Joker, if it wasn't from a property that already had such a big fan base, it would have been crippling. Imagine if this was an independent project. Imagine if some YouTuber came up with this story and put it on crowdfunding and the media attacked this much. It might have crippled the project. A YouTuber with no connections in Hollywood whatsoever, it could have gotten pulled out of the theaters. We see shit like this and similar shit like this all the time where people without connections and money are being blocked and their creativity is being stomped out just because it didn't fit, other people's ideas of what should be out there, which is... Entertainment has a special place in my heart because from the time I can remember when I was younger, even to now, when I need a break from real life, I sit back and I just get lost into whatever movie or video game, essentially whatever story with great characters I can get immersed and I can get invested into. I love it because it has a wide range of emotions for you and it takes you out of the shit of regular life for a bit to enjoy something different. And you got people out here who are starting to say what other people can and can't do when it comes to their creative vision, which is wrong on every level. And I think everyone who is a writer, producer, director needs to start kicking back against the deranged media, especially when they're revealing how deranged they are out in the open with this pseudo-intellectual bullshit. You guys put your comments down below. Speak your geek. I'm done talking. It's your turn. I'm going to see the Joker tomorrow. For sure. For sure. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Support the Joker. It's important. It really is.